I get asked a lot, what are the basic tools that I need to do a bike restoration? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the question about what tools I need to do a restoration, we first have to define what that restoration is. So I'm going to be talking about basically a frame restoration. You've got a bike, you want to take all the parts off, and perhaps you want to do like a sprayed out bike paint job, and you want to make your bike look new and fresh again. First off, a lot of you may already have a basic multi-tool. The multi-tool will do a lot of what you need to do because it's got all the fittings for a modern bike that you would typically deal with in basic repairs. So you've got all your Allen keys, you've got a chain breaker, you've got a tire lever, you've got the basic tools to add and remove your regular parts. And if you have a multi-tool, you may be able to start out with something like this and then collect the unique or custom tools that you might need. That said, you may want a set of Allen keys, some screwdrivers, some wrenches, especially maybe a number 10 and a number 8 millimeter wrench. There's so many of the fittings on a bike that use that wrench setting. You may also want to have a Crescent wrench, either big or small, to be able to help with a lot of those basic part removals. But when you start to then need to remove, say, your bottom bracket, you're going to need the correct parts to remove that bottom bracket on your bike, the correct wrenches and tools. And depending on what your bike is, you'll need a different set of tools. If it's a newer bike, you may have external cups for your bottom bracket, and you'll need a specific tool to remove that. Often those bottom brackets come with the tool if you're replacing it with a new one. But if it's an older bottom bracket, you may have specific fittings to remove the cups or races, or maybe it's a really old one and you need specific wrenches like these, the HCW4 and 5, to remove those. You'll want to check before you get started on your project to see what you might need for that. Also, in removing the cranks, you may need a specific tool to remove those crank arms. On the older crank arms where it's on a tapered bottom bracket, you'll need something to help extract and remove it off of that taper like this. Now, you may also want a chain breaker beyond the one that's on your multi-tool to make it easier. And you'll need some sort of wire cutters if you're doing anything on a bike with cable brakes or shifters and derailleurs. Removing your headset on your bike also, you may need a specific headset wrench if you've got an older threaded headset, and perhaps your Crescent wrench to be able to remove that. If it's a modern headset, it's really simple. It's normally with Allen keys removing the stem, and then the bearings and cups all come off with by just removing them. But if you want to remove the bearing races on your frame, you're going to need something like this headset cup steering race remover. This just slides inside your head tube below the cups, and then you can pound it out. Now you can make something similar to this with a piece of galvanized steel, or you could remove them using a large screwdriver and pounding them out that way. I've done that in the past. I don't recommend it as much because you could damage your frame or the bearing races, but it could be done. Also, if you need to replace the cassette, you're going to have a way to remove that, which is going to need either a chain whip or some a cassette pliers, and then you're going to also need a cassette tool that's specific to the internal bits of the cassette or the freewheel that you might have. In all, though, with these basic tools, you can strip down a bike, you can have it ready and cleaned up, ready for that custom paint job, and then reassemble it with just these basic tools. What I don't cover here is the tools you might need for rebuilding hubs on a wheel, rebuilding a fork, or other things like that And there's a lot of tools also that make the restoration a lot easier, but the basics are here. I hope you liked this video. If you did, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if I missed something that you think is an essential part of a basic restoration for tools, let me know in the comments below also. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget again to like and subscribe and look for opportunities to give those old things new life. And I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.
All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future